Hey, what's going on again? So I just wanted to talk about my 30-gallon tank and how I set it up, how it's going, um, what I think I could do different, and yeah. So let me give you a close-up of this so that you can really see what's going on. So there's kind of a, whoops, sorry. It's hard to get it horizontal. So there's kind of a whole view, widescreen view of that, and let me go in a little closer so you can see some of the fish. So I've got two rainbows. I think you can see them there. They're emerald rainbows, Glossolepsis Wanamensis. I've got quite a bunch of plants. I mean, more than I need. So that is it. Let's see. So the first step that I did in setting this up was using worm castings, and I used a specific brand. I'll go grab it at the end of the video if you're really interested, or I'll put it in the description. I'll put all the brands of the stuff I use if you want, and maybe even the aquarium plants. But yeah, let me see if I can remember all the aquarium plants now while I can just look at them and tell you what they are. So this here's the Monte Carlo. There's some larger plants here that are Hygrophila Pinnatifida, I believe it's called, or Hygrophila Pinnatifida. I have some unknown plants. This really broadleaf plant here, I have no idea what it is. I actually do have a little bit of dwarf baby tears here that's growing really slowly. I have another unknown plant that's kind of like almost look like a cactus to me or something. I got the Hydrocotyle Special Japan, or SP Japan. I always forget the full name of it, but I have some just a little bit of S. repens, which is growing pretty slowly also. Yeah, the Hydrocotyle Japan grows really fast. So if you want a fast carpeting vine-like plant, I recommend that. I have some, what is it called? I can't remember the name now, but Rotala Vietnam Hurrah, which is pretty cool plant. It hasn't grown very much yet. It needs a lot of light, but it seems to, right when I put it in this tank, about a day or two later, it looked way better. I could already see the plants had grown, a couple millimeters, and they were turning darker red, kind of yellowish orange. So that's good. I have a couple Anubias species. I have, Anubias Nana and Frazeri or something like that. Anubias Frazeri. The wood is Manzanita Wood. I also have. Oh, I always forget the name of it. It's like a Thai. It's like from Thailand. I want to say it's like a star, Thai star or something like that. That one really does look like a cactus. I like that one. Let's see, what else do we got growing in here? I got that Pygmy chainsword, which I can't wait till that splits up. I don't know. There's something about that. The Pygmy swords. I don't really like the large swords, but yeah, that's a cool one. It's supposed to grow really fast. Let's see. I have some stuff floating on top that I haven't planted. Oh, Rotala Wallichi. I didn't mention that. I got Rotala Wallichi. And then I have some moss floating up top that I haven't really planted. It's just been floating around there. The Riccia Fluitans. I believe that's it. Those are all. Oh, I do have some Eleocharis Pusilla, which I took from my 10-gallon, and it, it's been doing okay. It's got some new growth, so it's growing. It's just I didn't have too much of it because I really wanted to carpet my 10-gallon with that. And so, yeah, that is pretty much it. So yeah, in other things that I did to set it up, I use this Eco-Complete planted aquarium above the worm castings. This is great. Oops, this is great stuff, and so I would highly recommend it. It's less than Fluval or any of those shrimp substrate soils that are supposed to be the best, but this stuff is gravel and doesn't break down. It never is going to turn into mud. Maybe after a million years or something, because it's rock, it's gravel. It's not volcanic soil that's been machine made into pellets or whatever, which I think is what Fluval and the Denerle brand shrimp soil stuff is, because it doesn't seem natural to me. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on soil. Is go with Walstad method, use worm compost on the bottom, like high quality worm compost, and then use this stuff or some other planted aquarium substrate, or even just gravel. But you want to make sure that it's not going to lower your, or raise your pH or lower your pH too much either. That was a problem with my 10-gallon, is that I think the rocks make the pH very high, and that's why I have a pH of about 8. And actually that wouldn't be a problem with this tank, since rainbows actually really enjoy slightly on the higher end of pH. I think they like 7 pH from 7 to 8 or something. So that's actually not that big of a deal. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm using tin foil or aluminum foil on the 3 sides. On the back side, the right side, and then the left side are covered in aluminum foil, and that's going to help reflect light back into the tank rather than escaping right away and going down to the floor or whatever. I have 3 lights, 2 55 to 60 watt and 1 6 watt light. And so that's pretty high. It's 126 or 116 to 126 watts for 30 gallons. So it's pretty high output. And so I should be able to grow pretty much anything I want in this tank, which is what I wanted. And since they're LEDs, I'm getting lots of lumens, lots of light output, and low energy use, and that's what I really want. I don't want to, even fluorescence bulbs, which is actually, I have some fluorescence up there, but they're old and the plug actually broke, so I can't use them anymore. I was using them though. I'm using bubble filter, which I took from my 10-gallon and put it into my 30-gallon, so I highly recommend you do that if you're starting a new tank. Swap filters. With your old tank, just feed your fish a little bit less every day, since it's not going to have a filter anymore, or a filter with live bacteria. You should replace the one that's in your smaller tank or your older tank, but it's not going to have all those bacteria on it anymore. And eventually it will, but it's going to help the new tank cycle much faster. This tank was cycled in only 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, nitrites and ammonia were 0. And I forget what nitrate. I think nitrates were 4 parts per million. So that's like just spot on. And unfortunately, the emerald rainbows that I got came with diseases. They came with ick, and they came with an unknown white fungus-looking stuff on one of their mouths, on the male's mouth. The female doesn't have it, but the male still has this kind of white slime fungus-looking stuff. And I was thinking it was actually antibiotics, or I was thinking that it was bacteria, and so I treated the tank with antibiotics, with Maricin. And since Maricin only kills gram-positive bacteria, and the nitrifying bacteria are gram-negative, it's not too big of a deal to add Maricin in. However, when you add Maricin 2 attacks both gram-positive and gram-negative, certain bacterias, and that's going to really mess up your nitrogen cycle. So yeah, that went pretty well. The ick is gone, but that mouth fungus or bacterial infection stuff is still there on the male. So, and hopefully he'll pull through. But you know, apparently rainbows can just be finicky like that and just be really sensitive to diseases and whatnot. So I'm just gonna keep working on filtering my my water constantly. You know, keep adding air. And actually, yeah, I'm gonna add some stuff right now. Actually, since my ammonia levels were not at 0, that makes me kind of concerned, because they were at 0 a week ago, and I don't see, like, I haven't been feeding anything extra, so that means that the bacteria have not been doing their job. They've died off a little bit, or that's probably what happened. The antibacterial, the antibiotic, the Maricin, probably killed some of them. And so, or some, you know, certain species that are nitrifying but happen to be gram-positive. And so I'm going to add some stuff called Fluval Biomax. I'm going to go grab that now, and I'm going to show you actually a cool way that you can make your own really, theoretically, really powerful filter. And I'll explain that in a second. So what I'm going to do, oh yeah, 1 second actually. So I'm not going to do this in the video, because it's, I don't know, it just, you know, you don't need to see me do it. It's going to be simple, but all I'm going to do, I got this one of these filters, just a normal sponge filter. I'm going to put it at the bottom of this jar so that it's probably going to take up, I don't know, 2/3 of the jar or something, maybe half of the jar. Then I'm going to pour this stuff all over it so that it fills the jar. And that means that all the air, all those extra bubbles that aren't really being used, sorry, all those bubbles that are going up are going to have to go through this stuff. It looks like marshmallows, but really what it is they're like clay pellets or rock pellets that have millions and millions, well, I don't know about millions exactly, but tons of microscopic holes going all through them. And that gives, it's a extremely porous medium that that allows aerobic bacteria to grow on them. And this means that the bacteria will be able to filter more of that fish waste and be able to do that faster, you know. So it's not that complicated, you know, but it should be amazing. If you read the reviews on this Fluval Biomax stuff, it's it's supposed to be great. I mean, everybody is like, oh my god, this stuff is amazing. So I think, and you honestly, you don't even need one of these sponge filters. All you need is an air pump, and then you just put this in a jar, and then you put the, you know, the end of the hose at the bottom of the jar, and as long as the air gets distributed, you know, maybe you need an air stone or something to make more bubbles. But anyway, yeah, that should help clean up my tank, and I should be able to add even more rainbows, which I'm planning on doing recently, or soon, I should say. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know how you like the video. Alright, bye.